lights are off and away they go.
Extremely loose. He's managed to hold on and they get
He missed the complete that. He's crazy stuff.
Side Freitas is on the grass on the infield floor. He slides through. He tags Richard Eck.
As the late afternoon sun dives towards the Indian Ocean, it's time to tie me kangaroo down, sport, because Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship has come to Australia's Phillip Island circuit for round 8 of 12 on the Season 7 calendar. And all the action from both the initial 40-minute feature and the 25-minute sprint that follows can be seen live as it happens here on the Global Sim Racing channel. G'day mates, and welcome to GSRC's Countdown to Green. Way up in the press box to bring you our Word's Eye view is Soup and Crackers. Yours truly, Bill Soup's on, joined as always by Sean Crackers Ambrose. Amjad Yaman is our director, armed with cameras, located, aimed, zoomed, and focused by GSRC's camera guru, Dougie Beard. As cyberspace flows into your place over the next 15 streamy award-worthy minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to fully appreciate the doubleheader Formula Renault 2.0 Championship event that will immediately follow. Now, Crackers, the last time the AOR was at Phillip Island was at this point in the schedule last season, when you and I spent half the broadcast debating the merits of Chris de Burgh's Don't Pay the Ferryman, as Peter Berryman dominated the day, scoring a whopping 52 points for both races, as you can see on that overlay there. Crackers, I don't think we need to rehash that 1982 pop music, but maybe a review of the track might be in order.
Soup. As you can deduce from the name, the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit is on Phillip Island, that floats just off the coast of southeastern Australia. The track opened in 1956, and after falling into disrepair twice, a 1988 major refurbishment created the modern layout that the drivers will race on today. This is a track that really separates the good drivers from the great drivers, sir. It has a decreasing radius in these corners all over this track, and some off-camber bends and a few really gutsy sweepers that'll put the driver's nerve to the test. This is really 2.7 miles of trademark Australia. If you had anything more to ask of this 12-turn course, it'd probably be some elevation change, and well, we've got that too. Mistakes aplenty will catch some of these drivers off guard today in the corners like the Southern Loop and Lukey Hikes, but to give us a real feel of what they'll be experiencing, let's hop on board the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0 for a lap around Phillip Island.
All right, we've got Scott Newton in the GSRC Formula Renault 2.0, so let's do a lap around Phillip Island. Coming down to Dooham, the front stretch goes a long way, so expect lots of drafting to cause side-by-side action into this fast sweeper. Thankfully, it's easily flat out. If they do hold it around the outside, they could have a leg up into the Southern Loop, where you might see passes completed. But this corner is off-camber, has a crest, and forces a dramatically late apex. Self-made errors will be common. Exiting off, get onto the power confidently and hug the left through Stoner. Then, stay on that side unless you intend to attack or defend. A great many of the passes attempted will likely take place here into Honda, but at the same time, it's very easy to outbrake yourself on entry and slither wide onto the escape road. From out of the corner, you'll switch sides right away to line up for Siberia. There's an uphill climb through this bend, and it's followed by a long period on the gas, so getting to the power as early as it'll grip is critical. You've now hit the backside of the course, and these weaving S's are essentially a straight in the Renault. Straighten them out as best as you can, and then hold off to the right on the approach to Lukey Heights. This long arc is blind, has a decreasing radius, and requires more breathing of the throttle than actual braking. Hold to the left over the top of the hill, and then brake for MG. But be aware of surprise attacks. Right away, the track switches back into the penultimate corner where you'll barely breathe the throttle and then floor it from here on out. The final turn is flat out, and with it leading you back onto the pit straight, leaving anything on the table in terms of top speed will make you vulnerable. Hopefully, you kept it all together and have now finished a lap around Phillip Island. Joe Peak on the mic, Scott Newton on the wheel, taking us around Phillip Island.
Thanks to Apex Racing UK for providing today's lap guide. Now let's take a quick look at who was the big points earner last time out from the pain with chicane, Zolder. You know, a quick look at the points total show no real driver dominated, with 3 points separating the top 4 scores. A third in the feature and a sixth in the sprint was enough for Red Devil Racing's Christian to catch, to find himself up in front with the most score. Only 36 points, though, not a large total. It was sailboats for Phil Reed, as the pair of fours earned the Aperture driver points there, and as he finishes in second position. Another point where excuse me, I did it again there. Actually, my mouse actually moved my script here. Another there was as we go through there, you can see all the points going on throughout. Let's move on to the next overlay, as I can't believe that happened to me for the second race in a row. Now let's see how they wrap up for the championship points. Keep in mind that these are the raw totals and do not take into account the dropped races. All right, not a lot of change here, as Adam Tierney and Phil Reed are the only two drivers with multiple wins this season, each with 2, but Tierney does have a more prestigious feature win race, while Reed's are both sprint victories. How about SimRC's B sole driver? That's Tim Birdie. He's over 100 points out of the lead, but remember, that interval could shrink when drop races are accounted for. The big mover was Christian to catch, up 4 spots into 4th for Red Devil Racing, and Evan the Rolling Thunder Emre holds station in 5th for Force Fissy. Moving to the Tier 2 Championship, it's now a 3-driver race. Force Fissy is indeed a force, as the yellow and blue crew sit 1st and 3rd in the form of Emre and his teammate, the Orange Viking, Knut Martinson. Ty McLeod is in 2nd. Now, pardon the pun here, but Ty was tied for the lead going into Zolder, but now the incline driver is a point back. Scott Newton for Apex Racing UK and Patrick Kessler for SimRC Prime sits some 70 points out. And finally, let's look at the team championship here. Now, where you can see that the top 3 teams all hold station, the biggest surprise in that trio is Force Fissy. Red Devil Racing has been up and down all season to catch, and Daniel Morris jumped to the prize left side of the overlay. The Flying Frenchman, Jean-Francois Godin and Enric Andre, fall a spot to 5th, and shuffling continues on the right side of the graphic. Okay, crackers, the AOR is always picking up new viewers, so for those joining us for the first time, let's talk a little bit about the series and race details.
You bet, buddy. Let's do that. It's Season 7, and welcome aboard if you are joining us for the first time today. This is round 8 of 12, and, well, you get 2 drops during this 12-round season, and that would be a drop is considered I'm sorry. I'm okay. Soup, you got me. Jeez. It's 1 sprint race, 1 feature race. That equals 1 drop. Okay, so there you go. Now, the format, 2 races per event. We start with this feature race, and then we'll end with a sprint race that you will not want to miss today, I'm sure. The setups on this Formula Renault 2.0, what do we mean setup? Well, that's how the car is adjusted and set to your liking for your driving style. It's wide open. You can tweak on it as much as you want, and these drivers have worked really hard on it for today. As far as the weather goes, you know what? It couldn't be any better for racing today. It's a clear day, 67 degrees outside in Fahrenheit, and it's 77 degrees on track. With a little bit of wind, and now it's gusting up to about 16, 17 miles an hour, and that could be a bit of an issue in certain areas of this track, maybe even like the very, very last turn out in Swan Corner. That wind comes across the track right there. It might be a little difficult reeling that car in to get up the front straight. Now, the feature race details for today's Soup, it's going to be 40 minutes, this opening race. Now, we're going to grid based on this qualifying that's going on right now. You will need one pit stop to get this race done. Not enough fuel in the car to get to the end. We generally see that about 2/3 of the way. Incident cap 16 today, and the points, we're paying the points standard today, Soup, for the top 20 here in the race.
And now I'm happy to bring into the booth our 3rd voice for this broadcast. We've seen him on the track in many a GSRC race, but he's starting to get a little time up here in the booth, and of course I'm talking about Billy Bob Wright. Billy's going to be our pit reporter today, and Billy Bob, pit stop's always important here in this Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. Pit lane can be kind of interesting.
No doubt, Soup, and thanks for having me on board, boys. I hope I don't mess things up for you. But the one word I think about when I think of Phillip Island and the pits is options, because coming in, you can either come in really hot and try to pick up some time and take a big risk because the entry is really strange. It's elevated, it's super thin. If you get a wheel off, you're going to lose a bunch of time, and so you really have the option coming in whether you want to try to come in hot and make up some time, or if you just want to play it safe. And then on the exit, once again, options. You can come out early or you can come out late. Both of them have advantages or disadvantages, and I'm fairly certain in this series they allow you to pick which one of those exits you want to choose. Isn't that right?
They do, and if you come in the first one, sometimes you can enter up before you're up to speed in the racing line. That can also be kind of a strategic motion as well. Sean, pit stop's always important, and having a quick one, very important. One of the things that can slow you down is damaging the cars on the curbing. Kind of friendly here, though, huh?
Soup, it's not too bad. And there are a couple of trouble spots that you got to be concerned with. Honda corner, one of them. That hairpin on the inside curbing there, very tough to navigate. Go back to the southern loop. We were talking about that, turn 2. If you're a little wide on entry there and you get anywhere near that curbing, it will take you off track out into what seems to be an endless beach opportunity there. Falls just short of the ocean here. So that a tricky spot. Also down in MG, down in turn 10, the curbing down there can be a little bit of a problem. When you're trying to make that right-hander, you cut it too much. That'll upset the car and damage the wing there also, Sue.
And then, of course, this track is a little interesting. I'm used to driving it in the MX-5, and of course, Billy Bob spends a lot of time in the Lotus 49, and Lord knows that car is totally different than anything on the iRacing surface. Here, though, these cars are pretty darn fast here at Phillip Island. Right, Sean?
Yeah, no, agreed. I mean, listen, there are cars that are much faster here. I don't want to offend anybody, but 1 minute and 24 seconds in this Formula Renault 2.0 is a mighty fast lap around this track. I was saying in the chat a moment ago, comparatively, let's take another open-wheeled winged car, the DW12. Well, we've seen drivers like Jake Wright from another series turn, 59-second laps here in a DW12. So when you start to think about the difference in horsepower between those two vehicles, the Formula Renault here and the DW12, yeah, 124 holds up pretty well, buddy.
But flat out, all the way from 11, all the way into the southern loop, I guess, huh?
Yeah, once you've cleared the apex 11, it's hammered down, and you're really speeding off into the night. Billy Bob, that's a challenge in just about any other type of car, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, mostly the MX-5 and the 49 for me, and obviously in both of those cars, it's a real challenge. It's when I heard you guys talking in the earlier about the fact they go full throttle through there, I couldn't hardly believe it. But this thing has a ton of downforce and should prove some exciting entries into the southern loop.
Well, Sean, what do you think then about drafting? Usually, I'm so used to calling like GT3 races where Doohan can be a passing opportunity, at least too wide. Where do you think you do it here in this car? Is it going to be before one into the southern loop? Where's the passing spots?
Well, I think, honestly, a couple spots, actually. You might see that last turn, Swan Corner, be a big factor. Guys trying to fight side by side there up to the start-finish line. All the way down the front straight into Doohan, they'll be side by side. Southern Loop, well, you can try it. Again, in the Formula Renault 2.0, that's still a pretty fast loop down there. You can do it in about fourth gear, and you're definitely going to take advantage of somebody's opportunity. The race down into Stoner, into Honda, great overtaking opportunity there in turn 4. So this track honestly rife with great opportunities for passing today.
I think Honda's going to be a key. Probably not so much in the feature race where the cars tend to spread out, but when we come back for that 25-minute sprint when the field is inverted, you're going to see a stampede of cars going into Honda, 2, maybe 3 wide. One thing I do know, though, if he's trying to go 2 wide through Lukey Heights, that is a shaky situation. You probably want to get that sorted out up there. I've seen things go wrong more often than go right as they try to do that.
Well, it's off camber, Lukey Heights, and you get to the top of that hill, and then all of a sudden you're going downhill real quick there. Got to get the car slowed down for MG there in turn 10, and that's where we'll probably see people make mistakes down there. It's a very tough braking zone, Sue.
And we look through here with a pretty good field. You can tell the health of the series here as we are 2/3 of the way through, and we still have a nice field of 32 cars here. Looking at that qualifying, it is Mark Usher. And put him up in front where he doesn't have to deal with track, and watch out, it could be Katie bar the door, as we could see wire to wire. Qualifying just about done, so why don't we take this opportunity to run down our starting grid. Sean and I will do it together, 2 at a time. Mark Usher and Josh Thompson on the front row.
Christoph Holstein, Tim Birdie on row 2, Soup.
Jean-Francois Godin, Kerry Knowlton make up row 3.
Row 4 going to go to Patrick Kessler and Evan Emre.
Last row on the overlay is Adam Tierney and the Orange Viking, Knut Martinson.
All right, and then row 6 going to be Phil Reed and Sarah Dove.
Look at Little Bird up there in 12th. How about 13th position, Lubomir Morris and Hugo Quinier.
All right, row 8, Renee Osterkamp and Andrew Greenhall.
Jeroen de Cortel and Manuel Hoyer, the next row.
Jerry Mochak and Daniel Morris on row 10.
Hidden Blackjack, Lawrence Sudden Strike to right, Tom Van Helmen behind him.
Eunice Fastamaki, Scott Newton, row 12.
24th and 25th is going to be, 25th and 26th is Stefan Larkamp and Daniel Barrera.
27th, 28th, Miguel Antolin and Alexis Merloso.
And then the back of the field, Silvio Hurt. Enric Andre not able to put in a qualifying time. And I know that Bruno Dometer was mentioning that he was not going to be allowed to race, but I see him out there, so maybe he just wasn't allowed to qualify. That could also be the case for Enric Andre. I went through the stewards' review to see if there was some issues going on there, but I couldn't see much going on. Okay, there you have it. 32 cars going to take the grid.
And one of them was not Christian to catch. You forgot him, Soup. He's in this race.
Oh, that's very important, is Christian to catch trying to former champion. Sorry
I don't think he's on the grid yet, though, actually.
Well, maybe he's offended because we didn't announce him.
No, he got the call. He got the call. He's here.
29th position. There we go. Okay. Just ahead of Sylvia Hart, put in a time of 1:25.9. Something's a little bit fishy there with that one. Not sure what Christian is doing back there so far. Well, we'll watch him work our way through the field. It's round 8 here on the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. We have a doubleheader in store for you today. The first one is 40 minutes. We'll have a pit stop. Billy Bob Wright will be manning the pit lane. We'll come back with a 25-minute sprint that inverts the field after that. Right now you can hear the engine starting to harmonize. That means it's time to gather up the chickens and take cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And leading them down into the first corner, it is that dark blue machine of Mark Usher. Dropping into second is Josh Thompson. A battle for third going on back there. Look at Tim Birdie trying to challenge for second. Fourth position is Christoph Holstein. Fifth, Jean-Francois Godin.
So far, so good. Everybody making it through the Southern Loop. I can report all the way to the back of the field. They have all made it through Southern Loop.
Now here's the real telling point as they head down into the braking zone of Honda. Get it woed up, boys. They're 2x2 up front. Usher takes a defensive position. Other than that, they're going through here, a little bumping and banging. But it looks like everybody makes it through, maybe not without damage. One car that got off, Tom Van Helmen.
Yeah, Helman had a little bit of trouble breaking down in there, and everybody got checked up behind him. I don't think anybody made any contact with him, Sue.
Van Helmen, I believe this is his first time to the series. A tough way to make your debut, a little contact early, but he's still racing. Now they head down into what I like to call the pit, corner number 10. I've learned from Richard Losser, who hails from Australia, one of our GSRC commentators. That is called the MG corner. Now they work through Swan, the final corner. They are on full throttle right now. Our leader is Mark Usher. Let's see how the draft plays. Here's a pass for the lead. Josh Thompson's going to have the preferred position. He's not going to lead the first lap, but I think he's going to lead going into Duhan. And he closes the deal. New leader, Josh Thompson. Usher going to follow him around the Southern Loop. Birdie, Holstein, and Nolden round out your top 5.
Boy, a lot of 2x2 here through the Southern Loop, back through the field, Soup. Great racing going on here. Fastamaki really on the charge here, all up the gearbox. Emmanuel Hoyer looking to the inside here. Going to try and take him from the outside. Hoyer going to hold position. Osterkamp just behind them there, Soup.
I think the race stewards have got to be happy so far. I'm going to knock on my imitation wood here. Pretty clean first lap. look at this battle going on. This is Yunus Vostamaki. Always fun to watch him. Very exciting driver. Has really been coming on as of late. He's in that battle. He's got Osterkamp behind him in the yellow car. Manuel Hoyer just in front.
Ooh. Osterkamp almost loses it out there, hangs on to it, keeps it on track. But it's De Rijk going to get in the inside, and De Rijk going to pass him. Osterkamp all over the place.
Best racing on the track. Whoop, we got to go back up front again. Here's another pass. Looks like a mirror image of what we just saw as Mark Usher goes to the inside and is going to take over the lead down into Duhan. But that time what was interesting, Usher got the pass made before the start-finish line. Something to keep in mind when we get to the white flag lap, that apparently you can get the pass made and maybe stake the race right there.
Mojak is around, down into Duhan. Scott Newton got into him.
Boy, he sure did. Newton trying to almost make it, well, 3 wide there as he has the inside car. He was inside of Barrero. Barrero on the inside. Newton trying to go through the middle. We'll go on board with Scott now, Sean.
Yeah, and somehow Scott's going to walk away from this without any damage. I don't see any on the front wing, but you'll see right there the contact hits him again. And
okay, we're going to stay on this replay because Usher has now had problems. He is sitting way back. We're going to stay on this one for a while. We missed it. We're going to watch it. We'll see it with you for the first time. There's Usher leading. And then, oh, he got the left sides off and he loops the car around.
oh boy. Wow, and he just dropped so many cars getting through here, Soup. He loses a lot of spots, goes all the way to 13th before he can get back on track.
Boy,
it's in just behind Saradov.
It is not the first time this season that we've seen somebody have trouble while leading the race. Well, his misfortune is Josh Thompson's good fortune right now as he is out in front being chased by Tim Birdie. There's a little gap after 5th position. Actually, Kessler has fallen off a bit. Reed in 4th has now opened it up. He's got a 1.6 seconds back to Kessler. Looking at Kessler, that's Adam Tierney, the points leader, right behind him. Tierney, notoriously this season, if you cannot get a win, look at the charge made from behind. That was Jean-Francois Godin making that dive in there. The Flying Frenchman living up to his team's name. Let's follow up on Tierney. He's notorious for getting the car to the end. Yes, he has 2 wins. One of them was a feature win, but he also has done a great job of finishing, I would think, maybe all the laps this season.
That's almost hard to fathom. Just all the laps in a given season. Boy, Emre under attack right now from Kerry Nolden. Nolden takes the inside here. Oh, and Nolden in trouble.
Oh no, for Kerry. Nolden was having a great run at the time.
Yeah, and he's
a lot of runoff area here, though, right, Sean?
Yeah, plenty of runoff, and he gets the car back to the track, but he loses so much time. I mean, Kerry went from fighting for a podium spot, now he's all the way back to 26th. It'll be hard to recover from there. You're going to be lucky to stay on the lead lap at this point.
Let's go to the battle for 5th. We're looking here now. This is Tierney out in front in the kind of the white car. Tierney makes the pass there in that radical painted machine as he got around Patrick Kessler. Remember, Kessler was racing in 5th. Tierney makes that move. Let's give you an interval. It's about 2.4 seconds then up to Phil Reed. We'll monitor that.
Oh, Vostamaki off track there, Soup. Sorry, buddy. Down in Siberia.
Vostamaki was in that hornet's nest back there. Remember, he was the excitement going on.
Oh man, he almost clips Dometer here. Man, Dometer really, really lucky to get away from that.
And of course, Dometer had to start at the back of the pack. He's making his way through the field. Let's go up front here for a minute to 2nd position as Holstein just gets around Tim Birdie. Again, looks like it's done, Sean. between Swan and Doohan, right down the main straight. And now, look through the southern loop as that yellow car of Birdie loses a position to Phil Reed. Birdie dropping back to 4th. Fighting back, though. Let's stay on this a minute. I think he has visions as he works his way through Stoner. Now they come into Honda. In the preferred position is going to be Reed. It's going to be hard for the car on the outside. If he can hang on here, then he has a chance when they get down into Siberia. And sure enough, look at that. The yellow car on the inside, Birdie, has the preferred spot. Now watch the momentum from the top side. And that is Reed pulling away. They got to get this sorted out before they get to Lukey Heights. And I think they will.
Yeah, they'd be smart to get it sorted for sure.
Oh, look, I'm sorry, a little bit of contact in the back. Maybe we can get it. And Scott Newton just had some incidents. This is into Honda. Just happened while I was calling the action there. I think looks like Newton, he got off. I'm not sure if he got contact that pushed him off. No, did I miss it? Oh, no, maybe it wasn't Scott Newton. Maybe I missed it. I guess it was Miguel Angelin. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, well, no, Soup, you did see Scott Newton get off, and we missed it. He actually made contact with Daniel Barrero, but then we had another incident.
Then here's Antolin.
Involved Antolin, yeah.
All right, there's Antolin off. Now maybe we can jump up to Newton, and we'll see if we can get to this one as well. We're able to find it here. There he is. Let's watch this one. This looks like, is that Siberia? I can't tell from this angle. After Siberia. Well, maybe Scott Newton getting a lot of love. Oh, here it is. Here with 3Y again here. This looks like it's might be the issue. And there it is.
Wow. Maybe even some netcode involved with that, Soup. A lot of strange things going on right there.
I'm looking at my notes. Was it Newton that we had earlier that was trying to do the 3Y where he's trying to go through the middle? Am I wrong on that? It's like, yeah, in turn 1. So the racing gods dispensing a little racing justice there. Josh Thompson out in front. Holstein behind him. Birdie, Reed, and Tierney.
You know, Soup, one driver is doing a really good job of avoiding being lapped, and that's Christian Takac, who, of course, started this race from the back of the field. He's up 11 spots. He's working with Manuel Hoyer right now. That's his biggest conquest so far, is finding a way to get around Hoyer. Hoyer got really, really good pace, hasn't really made any mistakes here, making it awful tough for Takac to get close.
Up 11 spots, along with Bruno Dometer, who had to start from the back of the field due to a penalty, I assume. Both those guys working their way through. Remember to catch in the points chase. D. Cortel has had an issue, a self-spin, and then he collects. Oh, my goodness. That was Hugo Kenye. Got right into him. Nowhere to go as he T-bones D. Cortel.
Yeah, Kenye going to have some wing damage on his Renault. He almost got by that, too. Go on board with him here.
Yeah, you be the driver, see if you're able to pick a lane. Not sure he really had anywhere to put the car. Kind of have right in front of him, Sean.
Yeah, in a very, very tough spot right there. You're really just trying to find a line that keeps you on track through the southern loop there, and big trouble for him.
Kenye falling quickly. That car clearly damaged. I think he's going to be visiting our pit reporter, Billy Bob Wright, pretty soon. Billy Bob's still quiet in pit lane, right?
Yeah, nothing going on down here. So far, we had a couple of guys that were out early in the race, but no action yet. But we got one coming in now.
And here it is. It's Hugo Kenye. Sean, 28 minutes of racing to go, maybe at the front of the window.
Yeah, that damage on the front, though, was pretty good. That battle that he left, though, that was merging right behind him, what a good one. Lubomir Morris, Evan Imre, Sarah Dove, all battling down in a Duhan.
Billy, looks like you got some of the guys coming in there for pit.
Yeah, Daniel Morris coming in, but he overshot his pit stop, and he didn't have any repair, so he was still pretty quick.
Yeah, Morris with a 4-second stop. And I would have thought maybe he was involved in might have an issue, but he got it in and out. Leader of all the cars who've pitted so far. 23 have yet to come in. That's good news, though, Sean, for those guys who just came in. They might be right at the front of their window. They might be able to one-stop this.
Yes. I think that's a very, very good possibility, Soup.
Let's run down the second 5. We've talked about the front 5, but let's go back and look at Kessler. He's in a battle here now. That's a top 5 driver ahead of him. Adam Tierney, Kessler in 6th, being challenged by Jean-Francois Godin in the red, white, and blue machine, the Flying Frenchman. The nice battle, though. Here comes Mark Usher, our pole sitter. Remember, he's back there in 8th position. He's all over the back of Godin. Knut Martinson is a 9th. He's a long way back from this one. Look at this, though. Here he comes. Look at the blue car of Usher. As our director does a great job of panning that camera as we look at Mark Usher get that done.
Oof. Kessler, a big move up there, taking that spot from Tierney.
And while that was going on, you got it, Sean. Tierney falls back into 6th, Kessler up to 5th. Those guys have been going at it, but I think they got to watch out because the blue machine of Mark Usher is a-coming.
And Tierney's going to fight. He's going to fight back here, Soup.
Look at this, 2 by 2, and there comes the Flying Frenchman in there. They fly in formation. Now they head up into Siberia. Carefully, boy, you get up on the grass, and you will slide to Siberia. And those of you who are globally challenged, that's a long way away from Australia. Tierney in front of Kessler. Oh, here comes Usher. I said you shouldn't be doing it through here. Not listening to the pre-race show. Mark Usher now with good spot, diving into 10. He has to back out.
Oh. Usher just really making a bold move there.
Well, he is the Usher. He's using his elbows trying to find some room.
Get out of the way.
He's trying to escort Jean-Francois Godin with him there. Look at this. Here they go now. That's 1 as Usher goes to the inside of the yellow car. He's gonna get the yellow car. That's taken care of. That was Kessler gone, and it brings, like I said, he ushers Jean-Francois Godin with him. In fact, my goodness, he gets Tierney as well. Mark Usher up to 5th.
Oh, Birdie's around. Birdie is around, Soup, right down in Honda corner. Oh, gets going right here in front of these guys that we were just following.
That was Phil Reed who did it right in front, and then the group that Sean talked about. Yep, there they go. Birdie was racing in 3rd.
Wow, he gets incredibly lucky there.
I'll say.
It could have been so much worse.
How did he get out in front of Godin? Well, Godin's going to get him here. We'll get you a replay in a minute, but Godin's going to finish this pass, I think. No.
Soup, I'll tell you how he did it. He did a perfect 360 right there in the middle of the track, and he got back on the power and back in line.
Boy, with apologies to the rest of the field, this has really been where the excitement has been, back in 5th as Birdie joins this battle with Godin, Tierney, Kessler. Long gone is the Usher. Let me get that interval. 3 seconds to Phil Reed, who's in that final podium spot.
And Soup, I have been given information that Dometer was being, in fact, penalized for the starting incident back at Road America.
My apologies. I searched through the forums to find out why that was going on. I couldn't find it, but I did hear him talk about it during the pre-race. That's why I was tipped off to it. Looking there at Birdie right now. And look at that fighting going on.
It's madness, Soup. It's absolute madness going on right now.
Now we're going to look at the replay. Look at, this is how I get you. You're going to spin, Sean? This is how you do it.
Yeah.
Now that's Phil Reed, the trailing car there, and we'll talk about Reed in a minute. He's really picked up a few spots. He's been able to vulture him. Watch the spin. Around he goes. Back on the gas.
Boom.
And out in front of the guys that are coming. Oh, I'd say if those guys were a half second faster, that could have been ugly.
Yes, it could have, absolutely. But he knew he was going around, and he said, you know what? Oh, Soup, we got one diving in here. Francois Godin is in.
Godin's in, yep. No damage on the car that I can see, guys, so this should be nice and clean and quick.
Coming in from 6th position, he was in that, this might be a smart move, Billy Bob. He was in that hornet's nest that was going on back there. Yeah, I bet you he probably felt he was faster if he could just get some clean air to race it. Oh, he's up on the jacks.
Yeah, he's on the jacks. I don't see any damage on the car, guys, so I'm not real sure why that is.
Boy, that's a
cleaning
crusher.
out now.
10-second stop.
Yep, not what he wanted, and definitely, Soup, he was trying to jump out of that hornet's nest. I think he's looking for some clean track and try to put down some quick laps.
There you see, he takes the long exit out. He's going to cycle out in 19th spot, just ahead of Silvio Hurt. Sean, 10 seconds with the talent in this one. That's a crusher. You just can't afford to give up 5 seconds.
Yeah, boy, no. We got a replay here on Sarah Dove.
Oh, she was just getting on the back. This is kind of self-sacrifice here. She
brakes.
Yeah, it's kind of like she kind of dove into the window there to not get the car in front of her.
Well, I'm thinking maybe she felt like she started to miss her braking zone there and then probably put a little bit too much pressure on that brake pedal and it broke the rear end out. Now, good news for Sarah. She didn't damage the car. Soup back underway, no problem. Loses a couple spots, but still very, very much on the lead lap of this race.
And good news for Evan Emery, who she was closing in on. Great qualifying run from her. She qualified in the 1 position there in 12th. Falls back a little bit now. Still, though, racing in 14th spot, Sean.
Yeah, it's been a solid run here so far for Sarah.
Now we're looking at Birdie.
Luck.
Yeah, we're looking at Birdie. This battle continues. Remember, the dry who out of there is Christian Dequette, who came in for that stop. Or, I'm sorry, Jean-Francois Godin, who came in. He was racing in this one as well.
What do you think that was, guys, that he went up on the jacks for? Was it damage that we just couldn't see?
Undercarriage, maybe, yeah. It's what iRacing does is make you go up on the jacks, even though your car might be running at speed. So,
I'm going to go look.
The curbing, maybe, that he could have run over, picked it up somewhere.
Boy, it's sure possible, Soup.
Or a mistake, or just a mistake. Maybe he had the tires checked, you know?
That's
wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
No, it wouldn't be the first time somebody made a mistake, yeah. You know what? I'll tell you who's really showing me something here. Holstein. Holstein's having a solid drive here in second place. Really not letting Josh Thompson get too far up the track from him at all. Kept it within about a half a second. Very, very close competitive laps here between these two. I think if they stay on the same strategy, Soup, this may be a battle for the top spot on the podium today.
Looking at Holstein Racing a second there, we ride on board. That car you see up ahead is Josh Thompson. Let's quickly talk about our Tier 2 Driver Championship. Let's look at the driver racing currently in 7th position, Patrick Kessler. He's the top of the Tier 2 drivers. Remember, that championship is scored against the other drivers, so he will get large points for that one, even though he's racing in 7th position. He's just ahead, though, of a man who's also in the hunt in 8th, the Orange Viking, Kmart himself, Knut Martinsen. Martinsen has had a pretty quiet race right now. He started in 10th, up 2 spots. The familiar yellow, blue, and black colors of Horse Fissy. You see Renee Osterkamp back there as a Tier 1 driver. Go ahead, Sean.
So what we've seen so far is some of the drivers that were running mid-pack have decided to come in and get that pit stop squared away here just past the halfway point. Look for the leaders here to start thinking about that here in the next 2 or 3 laps, Sue.
What'll be interesting is Jean-Francois Godin. Remember, he was racing up there with Tierney and Kessler and Birdie, those guys. We'll see how he fares. I can't believe that a 10-second stop, he's going to be anywhere close. I look for him to cycle out somewhere, even behind Martinsen, maybe all the way back to 9th position. He'll be lucky if he gets out in front of Osterkamp.
Well, he is the leader of anyone who has taken a pit here at this point. But, yeah, that 10 seconds is... I honestly think that lengthy pit stop's going to hurt him in the end.
26 cars on the lead lap. And maybe we can look at the driver in 26 right now. It's Yuri Mojak. That's a guy who's probably faster than that position would indicate right now. If he could finish on the lead lap, he could be a force when we invert the grid. Remember, we invert all the lead lap cars for the sprint race. There's the rookie. He's got quite a ways to go to get to anybody else to race with. Sean, looking through the field, not a lot of battles out there right now. Maybe
No,
let's- how
Tim
about
Birdie.
13th?
Well, Tim Birdie, Adam Tierney,
Okay.
yeah, Manuel Hoyer, and Andrew Greenhall, who we haven't really talked about Andrew at all, but Andrew's up 3 spots, and yeah, having a pretty good tussle here with Hoyer. They've been at it for a few laps now, and like I said, Greenhall up 3, Hoyer up 6. These two pretty much done it together most of the way. Sarah Dove about to get herself in that picture. The battle for the lead is on.
Yeah, you talked about Holstein, and now he's decided that it's time for him to get some. There are no bonus points for leading a lap. There are bonus points for fastest lap and being on the pole. Holstein running him down. Let's see who has the best lap so far. Well, Christoph Holstein. Boy, he has really run onto the back of Thompson now.
Yeah, Thompson's starting to abuse those tires just a little bit, Soup. See him lock up every now and then and a little puff of smoke here and there. Not seeing that at Holstein's car.
Since there aren't a lot of battles on the track, this gives us an opportunity to stay on one for a while. We like to do this at GSRC. You get the feel of what it's like to be out there. My wife watches me watch our broadcast sometimes that the other commentators do. I check in on the mini series that we have here in GSRC. She says I watch them with my eyes and with my shoulders and my feet. She can actually see my feet reaching for the gas pedal with the clutch and the brake, and my shoulders leaning as if I can help my favorite driver around the track. We're right off the back of Josh Thompson now, looking back at Holstein. Thompson comes across, finishing up lap number 18. That really doesn't matter. 15 minutes of racing to go. Here comes the pass. No, he's going to wait. Billy Bob, it has been quiet. I think you better take a drink of some tea and lemon there.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot to talk about in a minute.
Yeah, I went and found an adult beverage. I was just stepping back into the booth, caught you just as you started talking.
Looks like Imre is in. This will be interesting. Let's see how where Godot is. Keep a look at Imre for me, Billy Bob. Let me know when he starts to roll.
He's out, or coming out, I should say.
He is out, and to catch is not even there yet. So there's the new leader. I'm sorry. Godot.
And he's going,
Godot's
he's going
spot,
all
yeah.
the way down to the second exit, so he may see some action here.
To correct myself again, I'm confused to catching Godot twice now. Jean-Francois Godot, despite that 10-second stop, is still the leaders of all the cars who've pitted. Imre gets out ahead of Morris. Look at this. These are two guys. This is a battle for position. Oh my goodness! And here's Kenye. Kenye is also pitted. This is a great battle going on back here for 17th. Oh, that's Morris in the red car. The yellow car is Imre. Looks like Imre's going to get it done finally now.
Morris had to check up just a little bit, and then it opens the door there for Hugo Cunye, who looks to the inside.
He wants them both. I'll take 2 scoops, please.
Wow. How about that, Hugo Cunye? I see Andrew Greenhall's in.
Greenhall was in that battle with Hoyer. We'll keep an eye on how that one plays out. Hoyer currently in 20th position.
Godin going to pass all of them, Soup. That'll get him up to 13th.
Greenhall coming out now. He's going to go down to the second exit as well.
And here comes, this is Hoyer. Remember we had there's Hoyer right there. They come in and Hoyer gets him. Woo! They were in the battle. Hoyle made his stop. Greenhall comes out in 19th. Oh, Lawrence sudden strike to Reich, sliding like a trombone on a toboggan until he hits a bump in the grass, and I got to think that's going to be the end of de Reich's race. You're going to see him now coming into pit lane. Sean, what's he hit here? Some type of... Ouch! Well, it's like a...
Oh, boy.
Looks like Maxwell Smart's invisible wall that he ran into.
We've got leaders coming into Holstein. Usher are in the pit, Soup. Thompson, Phil Reed, keep going on. So does Tim Birdie, Knut Martinson. Osterkamp, Morris are in.
Holstein's moving.
Looking at all those times,
He's coming.
Yeah, go ahead, Billy Bob.
I was going to say, he came out of the first exit, so he was confident he had a clear track, and he does.
Francois Godin on the front straight. Soup heading up to the start-finish line. He's there.
We look, Holstein cycles out in 5th, Usher in 6th. Tierney, Kessler behind them.
Well, Holstein, the big winner out of that group that went in, Soup. He gets out. He's already 4.5 seconds ahead of Usher.
Yeah, he was about a second faster from cone to cone. Godin, as expected, is about in 10th position despite that 10-second stop. Our top 4 drivers yet to come in.
Thompson's in. Thompson's in.
Here we go. Reed follows him in as well, as does Birdie.
Holstein into MG.
We're watching these guys. Holstein's the guy they want to get out first.
Thompson's out of fuel coming down the pit lane.
Yep, he was real slow. Yep, he was real slow coming out of MG and just barely coasted in.
Holstein up the front straight now.
And Thompson got pressure coming out to the exit.
Holstein is by. Reed's going to be first out. Thompson, now watch this on the inside, took in the early exit was Birdie. He gets passed by Usher. Usher now trying to challenge Thompson. He's going to get him as well. They are side by side through the southern loop. Give each other room, boys. They got to get this sorted out as they still side by side. Cialis backs up through Stoner. Now they head down into Honda, and I think that the defensive line from Usher, now he eases it back over. Usher's going to slot down into 10. Oh, my goodness, that was Birdie.
Birdie.
Saying hello to Thompson. Thompson really dodged a bullet, running out of fuel. Still able to. That could have been so much more costly. This all going on behind Phil Reed, who's racing in 2nd, and Holstein, who's our leader by 4 seconds. My goodness, he qualified 3rd. He is now up in front. Pit stops are done.
Wow.
Sean, with just under 10 minutes of racing to go, let's see if we can run down much of the field here. We'll take it 2 at a time. Stay with me, Director. Our leader, Christoph Holstein, out in front by 4 seconds. Sean over Phil Reed, who's got about 1 second lead over your guy.
Yeah, Mark Usher in a battle with Thompson now. Here comes Josh Thompson up alongside as they head down into Duhan. They'll go side by side into the southern loop. Oh, boy. Here we go. Oh, boy. Thompson going to close the door on Tim Birdie, and then goes back to battling here with Usher. Oh, and he's around.
And he's into Birdie.
Oh, boy. Usher and Birdie. Both off track, both damaged. The rear wing on Birdie's car gone. Let's look at it on the replay.
I can't tell if it was contact or if he just got, boy, it looked like maybe he got a shove there. Hard to tell from that angle.
There was contact because of the curb. Thompson gets the curb and gets him up into Usher there. Boy, what...
Josh Thompson trying to explain it right now. Probably better time to do that might be after the race right now.
Yeah, Josh saying he didn't get any incident for that. Nothing came up, so maybe there was a bit of net code at play there, but it looked like he'd come up off the curb back onto the track there and made slight contact with Usher, and then it all unfolded. But back to the racing.
All right, well, we'll continue our rundown now. Our director's on it. Kessler racing in 4th position. Let's see if I missed anybody moving up to 3rd. Did we get that? Josh Thompson, after all, that sits in 3rd. So Kessler back in 4th. Then Adam Tierney in 5th. Tierney with a, and we see that Tierney has some damage on the nose. So, Sean, that's going to give Jean-Francois Godin in 6th a chance to run him back. Who's in 7th?
Well, Soup, we go back to 7th, and it's Knut Martinson there in 7th, being chased by Rene Osterkamp, who's about 2.2 seconds back. And
sure enough, as we look at that, sure enough, Godin does get Tierney. And let's stay on Osterkamp or Martinson here for a minute, because I think Martinson is going to get Tierney as well. Birdie is out there. What kind of car is he racing right now, Sean?
Formula Ford?
That's
is that
what
possibly?
It is, yeah. Car looks good without the rear wing. Tierney doing his best to hold on there. Now we look at Tim Birdie in 10th. Let's see if we can run back a few more of these. I'm not sure we're going to be able to go through the field.
Well, we got Manuel Hoyer in 11th right now, and Andrew Greenhall
this is a good
12th.
one.
Yep.
Let's stay here. We've been watching these guys. Oh, this is that's Birdie who's getting around. So here's Greenhall now coming up. That's Morris behind him. Greenhall in 12th. They got Birdie up in front of that wingless machine.
Yeah, and Morris is attacking right now. They got to be really careful here. He is really coming on strong.
Now, he wasn't able to get in the toe because he had to wait to clear Birdie before he get in the toe. But I think next time around, well, I spoke too soon. No time like the present, Soup. If Morris takes a dive in there into Doohan, can't get it done. Sean, you got to love the AOR racing throughout the entire field.
Yeah, Soup, there isn't a lack of battles to cover.
No.
Just some are more exciting than others. Daniel Morris back here fighting to hang on. He gets by Tim Birdie, but here comes Evan Emre. Darn it, Evan Emre.
The rolling,
couldn't get that off my tongue.
Rolling Thunder now. That is his teammate up. No, it's not his teammate. They're both yellow. That is incorrect. I did it again. Tim Birdie, of course, racing for SimRC, the second team. Force Fissy back there. Emery, teammates with Martinson. And now he gets... Oh, come on, let that pass. Boy. Birdie, he's not going quietly into that good night, is he? He is fighting.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Be damned the wing.
That's
Come
right.
and get me. And by the way, Soup, I think the guys have been experimenting with new nicknames for the team. What do you think about Soup and Custard? How does that sit with you?
Okay. Well, right now, here's a guy who's putting on a pass right now.
Oh.
And that is Christian to catch as he was working on the outside of one. Now, boy, they go through the southern loop.
To catch, definitely our big mover here in the race. Soup up 15 spots, finds himself in 14th on the lead lap. And as long as he can keep this car in the gray for about another 4.5 minutes, he's going to finish on the lead lap somewhere towards the back. Could be a really good starting position for him.
Did our best to get you back through the field a little bit. Last car on the lead lap right now. Jonas Vostamaki. He's a minute 23 back. Ooh, that may be a tall order for him. Where is our leader in comparison? Oh, he's
right behind him.
Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, he might catch him. He might catch him this lap. Although Vostamaki's pace is still pretty good, Soup. I mean, he's still running 125. That's what the leader's running. So it's not like it's that uneven here.
We'll keep an eye on that one. Jerry Morjak in 25th position looks to be safe, a couple seconds ahead of these guys. A driver who is not safe, if we go to third position, Josh Thompson. Now remember, that car may not be all that healthy, but little by little, Patrick Kessler has been reeling this guy in for a podium spot.
Kessler been using the old chip away theory. Just a little bit at a time, Soup. Trying to get that big tree in front of him to fall.
And Reed with a 1.2 second lead over Thompson. Kessler trying to get in there. There's a big gap back to Godin.
Okay, Mark Usher's in the pit for some reason. Soup, he's coming down pit lane. I guess the damage too much to overcome, maybe needed more repair, but back in the pit for Mark Usher. Boy, what could have been for him today.
Yep. That's kind of been That's kind of been his story, though, in this series. It's a lot of would-haves and could-haves. Yeah,
he's out of the car, guys.
My dad used to say the difference between would-have and did is like Loggins and Messina. Time proves one to be totally meaningless.
Boy, Bruno Dometer just picked up 2 spots in pretty impressive fashion. Gets both of them down into MG. Gets by Sarah Dove and Tim Birdie both. Watch this bold move, Soup, down the hill and to the right. He's going to get inside both of them.
Yeah, this is a man who's forgotten about the penalty that he had to serve, and the chance to serve another one. He'll take 2. Nice pass from Bruno. And as we say that Sarah has now gotten back around Dometer. Dometer racing in 18th spot. Maybe he had so much fun he wants to do it one more time as they continue. All this going on with 1.5 minutes of racing to go. Our leader coming around Swan right now will be taking the white flag lap, I believe. This should be the final lap, as he has a 3.5 second lead over Phil Reed. Reed looks pretty comfortable in second. Josh Thompson has about a 10 car length lead over Kessler. Should be able to hang on to that one for the final podium spot.
Oh, and boy, who was that? Hugo Quignet was around in front of a bunch of cars. All fighting for position.
Nope, sorry, yeah. Sorry, it's on the wrong replay, yep. Happening on the last lap. We can stay on it. Our leaders are just going into Honda right now. See how this one works. We're looking at Quignet.
And Greenhall with a chance to get one here from Quignet. Let's see.
He'd like to get it if he could.
Oh, and he's around.
There he goes.
Quignet is around, and boy, who else went around there? Oh, Kerry Nolden gets into Morris.
As well. And Dove involved. We'll come back and get that one. We'll show you that replay right after we're done here. But right now, let's go to our leader as he negotiates through Swan. It's full song right now as he'll be singing a race win. Christoph Holstein wins round number 8 in the AOR Formula Renault 2.0 Championship. Phil Reed, Josh Thompson round out your podium. Kessler, Godin, 4th and 5th.
Boy, tough break for Sarah Dove. Oh.
Let's look at 16th position before we go anywhere. Sarah Dove actually is going to get that spot over Birdie right now. She's got it back out there. Let's stay on it because I think Morris has a damaged car. Dove's going to vulture one there. No pun intended. Birdie picks up 16th. Come around Dometer. Morris looks like Morris is going to finish about in 18th position. All our cars coming across, 25 cars on the lead lap. The last one being, according to my timing and scoring, Vostamaki was able to stay on the lead lap.
Well, that was fun, Soup.
Let's go look at the replay here. I think our director has one of that accident that we just saw. This one took place in Stoner that involved quite a bunch of cars. They were all able to gather it up and bring it home. See if I think we're looking at, that's Dove and Quignet spins in front of them. Dove involved in it. It was all just a scramble to get the car pointed in the right direction. We're going to board with Kerry Nolden. Look at this one.
Yeah, Kerry, one of the real losers in this because he's well behind it, but when he gets down here into the hairpin, the track's just blocked there. He guesses wrong and ouch, crumples up the front end on his. Yeah, let's watch this. This was Dometer and Dove. Dometer's just going to hook her here. He apologized. It was an accident, but
Well, I don't know. You're supposed to be reviewed on every incident as it is, but boy, when you're a race steward and you just put a guy on suspension, had to start from the back, and then he does that, you got to hope that the race steward had a good night's sleep when he was reviewing the incident. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. The best part of any doubleheader event is the break between the races. It's that perfect blend of the post-race high and the pre-race jitters. At this point, GSRC is going to step away for just a moment, but we'll return during the break to bring you the feature race, the breaks between the feature and the first race, to run down the entire finishing order of the feature race results and talk to a few of the drivers. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2.0 Championship, Round 8 from Phillip Island. Time to run down the finishing order of the feature race that you just saw here that concluded. Christoph Holstein is your winner. He finishes 3 seconds ahead of Phil Reed. Josh Thompson able to bring that car home for the final podium spot, 0.2 of a second ahead of Patrick Kessler. Jean-Francois Godin runs out your top 5. The back half of your top 10, the Orange Viking, Knut Martinson in front of Rene Osterkamp, Manuel Hoyer in 8th, 9th and 10th. How about this? The rookie, Andrew Greenhall and Daniel Morris in 10th.
All right, so we'll go back to 11th. It's going to be Christian Tkach. 12th, Evan Imre. Adam Tierney in 13th. Hugo Quignet, 14th. Sarah Dove, 15th. Tim Bertie, 16th. Bruno Dometer, 17th. 18th, Luber Morris. Kerry Nolden 19th, and 20th Soup, Stephen Larkamp.
In 21st position is Alexander Miraloso, Silvio Hurd, Jeroen de Cortello. All these guys on the lead lap. Jerry Marjak, 25th. He'll be starting on the pole. Jonas Vastamaki, watch out for him. Now the guys who had trouble. 4 laps down, Mark Usher, Lawrence Sudden Strike to right, Daniel Barrero, Miguel Antolin, Scott Newton, Tom Van Helmen, and Enric Andre. I'm not sure if Andre actually raced. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out that our top 2-tier driver was Patrick Kessler, as he finished in 4th position ahead of Knut Martinson and Manuel Hoyer. They go 1, 2, 3 in the Tier 2 championship. Okay, Sean, we have interviews. Who are you going to talk to?
Soup, you know what? Boy, we could talk to anybody, but I think it would be important to talk to the winner first. Christopher Holstein, congratulations on an amazing run. You started with a great qualifying effort, so important here. Talk about passing on track, though. How hard was that to get done here today?
Well, we kind of expected quite a large slipstream train to develop really during the race, and it kind of happened in the first couple of laps. But I mean, passing within that slipstream train was nearly impossible, I think. But once, I think for me, the crucial point in the race was when I was behind Tim Bertie and he lost the slipstream to Josh, who was leading the race at that point. And when once I got up into second place, I was really in a really, really good position. I think that was basically the most important overtake I've made, yeah.
How did you pull off a flawless pit stop? You were, I think you might have been the fastest pit stop of the race.
I don't know. I actually thought I took it quite cautiously, because normally you can, I think, take the pit entry, that corner, flat even, and I lifted there actually, and also slowed it down quite early. I think though what was the problem with Josh was that he ran out of fuel, so he lost quite a bit of time in the pits. But even like I was even winning gaining time on Usher, so that was really surprising for me as well.
Well, Josh, he lost 2.3 seconds to you there on the pit delta. So that little burp of fuel there coming down the pit lane really affected him. We heard him on the radio. All right, so you guys didn't catch the back of the field too quickly here today. Going to have a lot of cars starting here for this sprint race. How do you like your chances fighting through this field here at Phillip Island today?
Sprint races are always fun, I guess. It's going to be very, very competitive. I mean, qualifying was ridiculous as well, with 25 people within a second. So, it was kind of expected that we will have quite a large reverse grid. But, yeah, I don't know. I will always try to take it cautious and then see how it goes.
All right, buddy. We'll see you next time. Have a great sprint race.
Thank you.
All right, Soup.
Well,
now
you're going to...
Go ahead.
We're going to do it different. You got the guy who finished at the lead of the lead lap. I'm going to the guy who's finished the last car on the lead lap. He'll be on the pole. One of our favorite interviews, Jonas Vastamaki. Jonas, congratulations. You got to be happy. Nobody in front of you to start this sprint race.
Yeah, I've never been this happy to finish 25th. I think it was lap 3 or 4 when Lawrence sudden struck the right, did what he does best and penetrated my rear quite heavily. So I had to do a 50-second pit stop to change my rear wing. So it was a real fight to stay on the lead lap. And once I saw Christoph rejoin 3.3 seconds behind me, I thought I would never make it. So I was pleasantly surprised I managed to stay on the lead lap.
I think it's going to be really interesting for this sprint race. You got a rookie who has been very impressive, Jerry Mojak, next to you. And then, of course, Jeroen de Cortel, he can race as well. There should be some legitimate racing going on up front before you see guys like Kerry Nolden maybe get to you. Watch out for Honda. At least maybe you can be first into 4.
Yeah, I hope I won't choke and spin it in front of everyone into turn 4. So let's hope I can avoid that one.
All right. Well, we got to get you. They're going to be launching that next session. So let me give you best of luck here as we go to the sprint race coming up.
Thanks.
There you have it. He'll be starting on the pole of the sprint race. Okay, what we're going to do right now is take another short break. We'll get all of our ducks in a row. We'll be back in just a few minutes to bring you that 25-minute sprint. That's always exciting. Back in a few. Welcome back to Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Round 8 of the Apex Online Racing's Formula Renault 2-Point Championship from Phillip Island. Okay, Sean, we got the feature in the book. Let's go ahead and give the viewers what's in store here for this sprint race.
Soup, welcome back here in Australia. Race distance today, 25 minutes for the sprint race. We're inverting the grid from the finish here in the feature race. It's going to be a full one, Soup. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll give you one rest repair in this race because, well, they like you. And incident cap reduced here. It's 12. Going to have to be careful. You know, we didn't see anybody in trouble in the first race. I doubt we'll see it here. The points, we pay out about 2/3 of the championship points paid in the feature race, Soup. But one thing we've seen time after time after time here in the AOR, the sprint race, is really the race you don't want to miss. This is a lot. This is going to be fun here.
And while everyone wants to win, it's really the case right now for those winners that we just have for Holstein and those guys. Just, if you can't win this thing, just get a good point stay out of it. Bring the car home. See if you can get yourself a top 5, even a top 10. You'll end up with a good point stay. What you don't want to do is just get a DNF where it kind of takes away all the good luck you had in the opening round. Couple drivers to keep an eye on. We talked about those drivers going to be starting up front. Keep an eye on Kerry Nolden. He qualified 6th fastest in the feature race. He'll be starting, I believe, in 6th position. He's really the first big-name fast driver that's anywhere close to the front of the grid. Now, the rest of those guys, Sean, they're going to really have to work to see if they can, how far they can get up.
Yeah, I'm curious. We've still got Billy Bob with us. I know he's got to watch a couple of these races with it now. What are your impressions here of the AOR and this format, Billy Bob? What do you think about it?
Yeah, at first I thought it was not really smart, but actually it provides some really entertaining racing. I mean, the group as a whole has racing all the way through it. You know, at the front, it's really good. There's a mid-pack, there's a rear quarter where there's lots of racing going on. And then the reset of the little sprint race here really gives people another shot at it with the inversion of the field. I mean, it's a cool format. I love it.
Yeah, Super. Agreed. But, you know, what I really like is, of course, the challenge when we see a deep field like this and our winner having to start all the way basically at the end of the field. Like there weren't many cars lapped on this one. This is going to be about as full a one as we've seen, Sue.
Yeah, they talk about the biggest issue, the biggest competitor is the clock. 25 minutes does not give them a lot of time to get through, which changes their attitude. They tend to be very aggressive because they can't afford to wait too long as they want to get that win. We have seen people do the double. It's a rare sight, but it does happen. Let's give you the grid right now. On the pole, it's Jonas Vostamaki inside of Yuri Mojak. Sean?
Okay, Soup. And then row 2 is going to be Jerome Di Cortel and Silvio Hurt.
Alexis Mederloso and Stefan Larkamp behind them.
All right, row 4. Kerry Nolden, Lubomir Morris.
Bruno Dometer and Tim Bertie in row 5.
Row 6 is going to Sarah Dove and Hugo Quinier.
Row 7, Adam Tierney and Evan Rolling Thunder. Oh, I'm sorry. Did Evan Rolling Thunder Emery?
There we go. Got it. And row 8 going to be Christian Takech and Daniel Morris.
Andrew Greenhall and Manuel Hoyer behind them.
Okay, row 10, Renee Osterkamp, Knut Martinsen. Hidden
Blackjack, Jean-Francois Grenat, Patrick Kessler in the double duck spot.
All right, Josh Thompson, Phil Reed on row 12.
Christoph Holstein and Mark Usher way back in 26th.
Soup Lawrence DeReich and Miguel Antolin, 27th and 28th.
Scott Newton and rookie Tom Van Helmen in the 30th spot. The engines start to harmonize. So, for one more time here from Australia, gather up your chicken steak, cover behind the cows, because the horses are out of the barn. And it is Jonas Vostamaki leading the stampede down into Doohan. Dropping into second is Yuri Mojak. Third is Quinier, Hurt, and Meriloso. Round out your top 5. Oh my goodness, Sean, it's big stuff behind them.
Yeah, boy, everybody fighting so hard here, all the way at the very, very back of the field, Soup. Really, really treacherous getting through the southern loop. They've gone as much as 3 wide here. Jeez.
They're Mark all
Usher under a lot of pressure.
Now the leaders get down into Honda for the first time. They are 2 by 2. They get it sorted out. 3, 4, 5 cars, a little bump and a bang going on in the big one. But it's not as big as I feared, as most of the cars get turned in the right direction. Oosterkamp may be the big loser. That could have been worse.
Much, much worse. But yeah, Oosterkamp going to fall 11 spots all the way back to 30th. Everybody's still under power here, though, Soup.
The leaders head down through Lukey Heights now, diving down in the MG corner. It is still Vastamaki. Nolden has worked his way up from 6th, 7th position all the way up to 7th after one lap. De Cortel, Mojak, Hurt, and Miraloso.
More trouble in MG. It's Bruno Dometer.
Not the guy. Let's look at 2nd position, though. Here comes a pass for 2nd. Nolden would give that up to De Cortel. This battle going on right behind Vastamaki, who says, fight it out, boys. Dometer with more trouble, though. That's been a rough day for him.
It was a self-spin, too. A little bit too hard on the brakes.
Silvio Hurt off into the beach from 7th position. That was on the outside of the southern loop. He gives up all of those spots. But he keeps the car going straight as he merges back into traffic. Let him in.
Josh Thompson was one of those cars that went by him.
Sarah Dove has an issue. Boy, wait, we can get that one on replay. That was a great catch from Sarah. That car got all kinds of sideways. She was on the inside of Moritz. She spins it right in Honda, and she keeps it going. Another one that could have been a disaster if that car comes back out onto the track in horizontal position. Perpendicular would probably be the right geometric term. Hopefully it was horizontal. All right, 7th spot. You're looking at it right now. That is Miraloso on the inside. He just lost the position to Larkamp, I believe. Miraloso now loses a spot to Birdie. Birdie up 2 spots now, 4 spots. Racing from 10th, now in 6th.
The battle for 10th is real. Adam Tierney trying to make a move on Sarah Dove. Sarah Dove trying to make a move up here on Lubomir Morris. Gets up under him. Oh boy, Sarah's still trying to pull off this pass. She's going to do it.
Got it done.
By Morris.
Up in front of them, Miraloso in a battle with Kenye. Kenye gets the best line out of Honda. He moves into 7th. Miraloso now in a battle with Dove. Dove stuck on the top side of Siberia. She fights back. Look at her fight with Miraloso. She's coming back on. Tierney in that mix. Morris in that mix as well. A great fight going on there. And meanwhile, if we can maybe... Green Hall, as we just left, he had the spin. He spins right in front of Godot.
The Flying Frenchman had a moment there.
You know he's French because he had an eye full of apple.
Oh. Boy, we really did that.
All right, up front. It's Kerry Nolden running down Vastamaki. Vastamaki doing his very best as they go down into the southern loop. Nolden's all over him now. Cugnier behind, or De Cortel behind them, and Mojak running 3rd and 4th. We expected Nolden to give a run. As we look at this, we'll keep them. They go into Honda. I wouldn't expect that Nolden's going to be in any hurry to get this done out of Siberia as they go through 7 and 8. Go ahead, Sean.
Quinier making a big move on Stephen Larkamp. Got him going down into Honda there.
Quinier moves up into 6th. Larkamp back to 7th. Larkamp racing 1 spot farther back than where he qualified. Quinier up 6 spots. All right, let's go back up to our leader because I smell a pass for the lead a-coming. As they work out of 11, watch Kerry Nolden. The skinny pedal is to the floor. The engine is singing as loud as it can. They work through Swan. Let's see what type of racing line Vastamaki takes. He's going to stick to the left and it's going to be an easy pass for the former champion, Kerry Nolden. Actually, Nolden not able to lead him at the start-finish line, but leads him down into corner number 1. New leader, the Aperture Racing.
Soup, what a great battle here. Phil Reed just got around Christian to catch. Phil Reed up to 11th already, 13 spots to the good. Battling behind them, even more incredible. It's we got 16th. What is this? Holstein, and just behind him, Mark Usher trying to hold off Josh Thompson.
Now this is
looking at him here.
What you have is 2 top-named drivers back there, Thompson and Usher, going at it in a battle for 17th position. All this going on behind the winner of the feature race, Holstein.
Oh, and Usher almost loses it there, Soup.
Usher continues to race on the outside. He's going to get a good run off of Siberia on sudden strike to Reich. He's going to get to Reich, I think. He wants to see if he can catch back up to Thompson. Meanwhile, up in front, Holstein side by side with Mariloso. Holstein in the blue car gets that one. Mariloso drops back to 16th as he tries to leave Josh Thompson behind. Thompson wants to see if he can stay with Holstein. He really forces the issue on Mariloso through 10. Thompson gets that position as well. On the outside now, as Mariloso able to keep the car on the inside. A great job of racing. Sudden strike to Reich and Mariloso side by side. No room for Usher. Usher's going to try to squeeze his way through. You know why? Because he's an Usher. Now he sees that he has a run. He's going to get it inside of Mariloso, and he gets that pass made. Fighting back now, 3 wide, a sudden strike to Reich as they head down into Duhan. Reich with the momentum. He's going to try to get it, and he gets the spot back up to 17th. Goes to Reich.
Wow. What a fight there. Sudden strike. Oh, and he's off. Sudden strike to Reich is off the track into the dirt, Soup. He loses it in the southern loop.
He just had too much fun. His fun meter filled up, and that's all that could take it. He is gone. So
dare I say he got too close to the sun, Soup.
He did. Holstein in 16th, Usher in 17th. Now remember, Holstein won the race, but look what has happened to the guy who finished in 2nd. Phil Reed has been able to distance him. Reed running in 11th now, trying to make up ground on Morris to get inside the top 10.
Yeah, Phil's winning right now, man. He is, well, he's having quite a drive here. Very inspirational drive from Phil Reed today.
And remember, when you think big points, right, you have to add up the 2 totals. We do that at the beginning of every one of these countdown to the green shows. Who was the big winner? Well, right now, even though Holstein won the feature race, I think Reed's probably going to have a bigger points day. Let's go to 7th position. This is Larkamp. Adam Tierney looking to make a move. Larkamp trying to take his half out of the middle. Tierney says, I'm going underneath you. Larkamp says, okay. And now look at the momentum from the bird. Sarah Dove has her wings tucked in. She's in dive bomb position, and she takes that position as well. Larkamp back tonight. Dove up to 8th. My goodness.
Sarah just keeps pressing, Soup. Just an impressive run from her so far. Larkamp been fighting well up here, but giving up those spots slowly, but definitely giving them up. And was that Larkamp that went off? It was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Off into the Australian Alfalfa.
And Tkach going to get it by him finally there, and that's going to drop Larkamp back to 12th after that mistake.
You can look at the ticker going by underneath if you want to track the leaders. Otherwise, I'll do it for you. Kerry Nolden, a 1.5 second on Vastamaki. Vastamaki doing a good job, though, of hanging on. Decortel and Morjek not able to make up any time there. Tim Birdie, probably the biggest name of all those guys, racing in 5th position. Don't think he has enough time to get to Nolden with 15 minutes of racing left, but maybe he can get to 2nd.
Soup, let's spotlight Tom Van Hoyman real quick, all right? You know what, Tom didn't have a very good feature race, but things have turned around here. Tom up 12 spots into 18th, and boy, he's got a position right in front of him here in Mark Usher. Usher with a little bit of front damage on the wing. Looks like Tom's going to get by here. He's going to bring Kessler and Newton with him just behind.
We're looking at that battle. We don't need to go there. I can just report that Sarah Dove got another position as she got around Lubomir Morris. But now she has, we look at Mark Usher, they're racing in 18th. Now she has Phil Reed coming up, Reed making a move. Usher gets off. He's going to lose those positions.
Yeah, you know, and the damage on the left front wing for Usher is slight, but it's just enough. They just really having trouble with the grip on the inside of these turns. And you see it right there coming out of MG. Just can't hang on to it.
Look at that one. That battle boy there is good fighting everywhere. I'm going to take you away for a minute. Let's go to 8th position. Side by side, this is Sarah Dove. She just got passed by Phil Reed. And now piping back in, wanting the position back is Lubomir Morris, the rookie who's been hot. Reed able to negotiate. Reed was able to get around Morris and now able to get around Dove. Reed up to 8th, Sean. Here he comes. Adam Tierney racing in 7th, our points leader, having another one of those things he does.
Boy, Phil Reed climbing a very, very tall mountain today, Soup. Still has just over 13 minutes. Anything could happen in this race. He's got just under 10 seconds separates him from the lead.
We're looking at the best battle, the first one you'd get to. And that is Phil Reed racing there in 8th position. He's coming up trying to get to Tierney. The guys up in front, there's really no battle going on there. Those from Tierney ahead, they're all separated by about a couple seconds each. Dove has an issue. And she goes off. She gets it straightened out, though. We'll watch it here with you. Dove second in line. Sarah, the track is this way. Morris has had issues as well.
Yeah, but you know what? Oh, and he made, you know what? He made contact with Jean-Francois Godin down in MG.
Oh, my. Yeah, contact is putting it lightly. They really get together, cost both of those guys spots. We don't have that replay.
Yeah, we don't have the replay.
So let's check in on our race winner. How about Christoph Holstein? He's able now just to pick up one more spot. He's getting the wounded Sarah Dove on the inside there. Although Sarah was off, the car probably still running good, but Sarah's now dropping back to 15th spot. Holstein moves up to 14th.
Not over for Sarah yet. She's still
Nope.
got a chance here to put down some good laps. Maybe get this back from Holstein.
Let's check in on 4th. We haven't seen this much very much, but Birdie was able now to get around Mojak. We talked about Birdie being the best name up there. He gets around Mojak and now has a real chance of getting Desquartel for 3rd. In fact, it's gotten a little tighter. Look at how Nolden has fallen back into the clutches of Vastamaki.
Yeah, I think the top 5 are really a battle to watch right now. I still think anything could happen up here. You've got Nolden, Bastamaki, Desquartel, Bertie, and Mojak, because the 2 rookies back here in 4th and 5th. This could be fun.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I had marked it off on my clipboard. It says long gone right here when I saw Nolden. I thought he made that pass. I thought it was all over. Tip of the hat to Bastamaki, who's racing with him. That interval just under 0.4 of a second as they come across with still, Sean, 10.5 minutes of late racing to go. Plenty of time. Bastamaki closing in.
Yeah, Kerry Nolan probably got to feel a little bit nervous right here. He's throwing down some of his best laps of the race, and they don't seem to be paying off for him here, because Vastamaki's still able to keep him right there in the mirror. And yeah, Nolden feeling maybe a little bit of pressure here with just now 10 minutes to go. 4 rookies, though, in the top 10, Soup. You got to be impressed with this rookie class here this season.
Oh, yeah, speaks well of what's going to happen in Season 8. Oh, we wish all these guys come back because we really grow fond of them. We like them come back. We get to know them. We'd like to see him have a run with 1 season under the belt. Nolden's gap now up to 0.8 of a second.
I'm personally a fan of the big Christmas party that AOR throws every year, Soup.
Yes, well,
we need to keep you away from the punch this year, though.
Yeah, well, you stay away from the copying machine with your rear end. Okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
Huh? Looking here, we have we're looking at Vastamaki. We had a report there that
Yes.
Martinson was off. What do you got, Sean?
Well, Silvio Hurt just towed Soup. He had an issue out there. I can't find it right now.
Yeah, let's give him credit, though. We're looking at an off track that he had. He qualified fourth, we gridded fourth, did a good job of racing, but there's a spin. That might have just been
he spun it down an MG and then he just took the tow. So
I'd like Silvio Hurt. Hurt's just fast enough to stay on the lead lap, which is, as a back marker, that's what you want to do. Let's go to third position right now. Here comes Birdie closing. Oh, my goodness. Whoa. Actually, let's bring in Vostomaki as well. Birdie in the yellow car is the one that's going all around.
Thompson in another battle back here with Luca Miroris. Oh, that was awful close. He almost loses it coming out of MG. Morris was loose. Let's go back to the battle here with Birdie, though. Sorry.
Birdie now on the inside. He gets it. Oh, boys, I tell you not to make that pass through Lukey Heights. You don't listen to Countdown to the Green, but they managed to get it done. Birdie up into the podium position now, ahead of Cortel and Mojak.
You know, I said this in the pre-race before we even got started. You find yourself doing things with this car here that you wouldn't normally do in any other car on the iRacing service, and I think that's a good example of it right there.
Kerry Nolden must have had an issue or something that brought him back into the mix. He's now back out in front by about 2 seconds.
Trouble for Mark Usher?
Look at this, though. Birdie, without even thinking, he's able to get Vostomaki.
Billy Bob, do we know why Usher's in the pit here?
I'll go look.
I got to give you an interval now as we look at that battle. We're looking at the driver in third. 1.7 seconds from Nolden back to Birdie. Why do we care so much? Birdie was way faster in the sprint race qualifying, in the feature race qualifying. He might just have the pace to knock off 1.7 seconds in 7 minutes of racing.
Well, Sean, to answer your question, there's nothing wrong with his car, but he has exited the car. So I guess he just had enough fun for today.
Guess so. Vostomaki got to be careful here. Junior Cortel trying to make a move on him. Watching several battles here. On board with De Cortel. De Cortel's got to be careful here because he's got Yuri Mojak still in his mirror. Not able to shake him. Hugo Quignet starting to try and join this party, though, Soup.
Racing began to settle down a little bit there once they got it sorted out and everyone found their spot. Phil Reed looking to have a big points day. Finished second in the feature, running 8th right now. The winner of the feature race, that would be Christoph Holstein. He is racing in 13th. Let's go to third. Here we go. This is a pass, and Vostomaki is on the outside as they work through the southern loop. They'll have a little momentum. The car on the inside is Cortel, but now the preferred position will go back to Vostomaki. It's about a half a car length back. They'll head into Honda. It'll be a game of chicken. Who can break later? Here we go. And they both break at the same time. Vostomaki backs out. No, he got it. The line through. The momentum, though, they go back as they continue to race 2 by 2, or side by side. And now going off, Vostomaki is off into the beach.
Boy, Vostomaki not having a very lucky day, Soup.
He's going to fall back. We watched the replay. I can just report that he drops back into 9th position. Josh Thompson able to get around him. And there he goes off into the sand. Maybe we can come back to him live right now as he's in another battle. Vostomaki trying to save that spot. This has got the Red Devil driver, Christian to catch on him. They head down into corner number 10, the MG corner. Vostomaki able to hold him off. I think for now, they'll probably lose that spot on the main straightaway. Right behind them, it's Morjak and Godin racing in 11th and 12th.
Christoph Holstein just behind all of them, Soup there in 13th. Under a second here behind François Godin.
You look at him coming at you. Oh, that's a good shot.
You know, Holstein's got an outside chance here, Soup, to get himself into this top 10.
Doing his best to get as many points as he can. Kevin Emre was furious. I don't know why.
Yep.
I think it's all him.
Yeah, it was. Getting into Swan. Just gets it a little too much out to the right, Soup. He's going to hit this curb.
He had it saved. He had the car pointing in the right direction, and then it went south.
Unfortunately, he's not getting out of that. He's stuck in that tire barrier. Only way home is through on the end of a hook.
1.8 seconds is the interval from Kerry Nolden back to Tim Birdie. I think he's minding the gap. Look at this hornet's nest right here. It's a pinata full of bees. 9th position.
Yeah, Tkach and Vastamaki still going at it. Tkach able to get by right now. Vastamaki falling back here to 11th. He's got to worry about Godin and Louis Morris and Christoph Holstein all right there.
Holstein saying, point, if I can get some. Right now, Holstein from the very back. He's going to get some points given around Morris. Up ahead, though, it's diving to the inside. That is Godin. Tries to get to the inside of Tkach. That doesn't work. They go into the southern loop. Leading this group around is Vastamaki, who's fallen back from the pole position, now racing in 10th. Tkach would like to get this spot. Nolden has had an issue from the lead.
Honda quarter gets him.
I wanted to mention that that's not the first time I've seen Kerry Nolden have a problem from the lead. I didn't want to do it because I didn't think it was fair to jinx him. I saw him spin from the lead before, and he does it again. The beneficiary of that is Tim Birdie, who's now inherited the lead. Go ahead, Sean.
Well, and Soup, Josh Thompson, somehow, during all that craziness, he gets himself into the top 10, into 8th. Holstein still stuck back there in 12th, still making a charge here. Vastamaki still going at it with Christian Tkach, and here comes Francois Godin, and then there's Christoph Holstein in this mess now.
Yeah, with apologies to the drivers racing up front, you got to watch this nonsense going on here. On the low side, that is Tkach playing defense. Up on the top side, that is Vastamaki. They go in too wide. Vastamaki is going to get best of that. Drifting a little bit high is Godin. Now he's on the outside as they work through the southern loop. The blue car is the winner of the feature race. Holstein, he doesn't have any momentum. Godin races. They go side by side. Godin's having a little bit more of a drive as they go through Stoner. Morris back there watching the whole thing happen. It's not done yet. Meanwhile, up in front, diving down into the corner, it's Tkach as they go into Honda, and they turn right in front of them. That's Tkach gets loose right in front of Vastamaki. The 3 other drivers get around. We'll quickly go on board Vastamaki. Take a look at this one. While this is going on, Christoph Holstein says, how did we survive that?
Yeah, and Godin, a simple response, he has no idea. Wow. Holstein up to 10th. The white's coming out of here, Soup.
So that all settles down in 9th. It is Godin, Holstein in 10th, Morris in 11th, Kessler, Larkamp, and Dove in 14th. They continue to race, though. Meanwhile, our leader, looking at the white flag lap, it is going to be Tim Birdie. I believe he finished 16th in the feature race, coming back to finish this one as the winner if he can just negotiate the final corners. But be careful. Easier said than done. Talk to Kerry Nolden. After Nolden's spin in Honda, in the MG corner number 10, he's able to still salvage a second-place run. Quartel is behind him. Mojak in 14th, 15th position. Phil Reed, he finished second in the feature. He's in the top 5.
Josh Thompson getting one more spot. Gets by Hugo Quignet.
There is fighting everywhere as they're working on the last lap. Meanwhile, our leader is just going
Godin makes a mistake.
Godin had such a good run, he's going to cost him a few more positions. He made it all the way up to 9th position. Our leader now heading down into the MG corner. This is where Nolden spun before. Birdie able to do a better job of it. Now through 11. Now only an invasion by Martians will keep Tim Birdie from winning the sprint race, round number 8 of the Apex Online Racing's Formula 2.0 Championship from Phillip Island. Nolden gets second. De Cortella's out of fuel. How could that be when there's no pit stops? He's going to lose the spot to Gagne. I think he's going to limp it across. Is he going to get there? Holstein gets him. All the cars get him. And Cortella is going to finish in what are we going to call it? Let's call it 14th.
Oh, there was some debate. There was some debate at the beginning of the race on the fuel, whether it was 17.5 or 18.5, and
well,
it sounds like he went with 17.5.
Yeah, I think the verdict is in on that argument.
Oh no!
See if there's any other battles to see throughout the field. I think that's pretty much it. Oh my goodness. You gotta love the Apex Online Racing's Formula 2.0 Championship. These sprint races are so exciting. What we're gonna do right now is take a short break, but don't go far. We will be back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few. Welcome back to the Global Sim Racing Channel's coverage of Apex Online Racing's Formula 2.0 Championship, Round 8 from Phillip Island. Time to run down the finishing order of the sprint race that you just saw here on the Global Sim Racing Channel. Tim Birdie, Kerry Nolden go 1-2. Nolden led most of the way, had a spin, and Birdie picks up the checkered flag. Jerry Mojak gets third. Phil Reed had a nice run, 24th to 4th. He's going to have a big points day as he was finished second in the feature race. Adam Tierney, Josh Thompson, Hugo Cagné go 6th, 7th, and 8th is Christoph Holstein. 9th is Lubomir Morris, and rounding out your top 10, Patrick Kessler. Sean?
11th, John Fassago Den. 12th, going to go to Sarah Dove. She recovers for a 12th place. Stephen Larkamp, the Pennsylvania driver, finishing 13th. Jerome de Cortel, 14th. Tough break for him, running out of fuel. 15th. Tom Van Hoyman. I almost think we didn't talk about him enough, Soup.
No.
He came up 15 spots, started 30th in this race, and finishes 15th. Hats off to Tom. Lawrence DeRike going to finish 16th. Christian Tkach, 17th. Eunice Fastamaki, 18th. 19th. Manuel Hoyer. And Renee Osterkamp going to round out our top 20.
Then it's Scott Newton, Knut Martinson, Alexander Merloso, all these guys out of the sprint race points. Evan Emre, Miguel Antolin, Mark Usher. Always an interesting race for Mark Usher as he pulled it off there. Andrew Greenhall in 27th position. Silver Yohurt, Daniel Morris, and Bruno Dometer. Let me quickly point out that the leader in our Tier 2 championship, Patrick Kessler, gets first place. Sarah Dove going to pick up second place points as she was our second best Tier 2 driver. Rounding out the podium for the Tier 2 drivers, Jeroen de Cortel. They will all score big points. Okay, Sean, who do we have for an interview?
Phil Reed. Let's talk to Phil Reed. Phil Reed. Man, what a day for you. Second place in the feature race, and then you come out here and you put it on him again in the sprint race. Congratulations.
Yep, thank you very much. It's my best weekend of or best Friday of the season, I would say. I've got a couple of wins so far, but most of that came from not having the best features. But here it's been really good, which is a surprise. As it's a surprise. It usually happens to me for some reason, but any track that I'm not particularly fond of, I usually do well at. So,
well, Phil, I honestly, you had to come from all the way in the back, obviously, up 20 spots. You finished fourth here in the sprint. How did you pull that off? But I'm sure there was a little bit of luck involved, but man, that was tough.
Yeah, it was super intense. It was strange because it went really, really smoothly right at the start. Like, it felt like it was really, really hooked up, and I was able to pass cars here and there. And then it just sort of got to a bit in the pack where I got up to, like, I think it was 7th or 8th, and I was trying to, and my entire goal was, right, catch Adam. That's the person I'm focusing on, catch Adam. And I was sort of slowly catching, and had Josh Thompson coming up behind, and he was slowly catching me, and there was sort of like a little train going on between us, or a time train between us. And then eventually Adam caught the car ahead, I think it was Hugo, which just slowed him down coming over the top of the hill, which then put me in striking position to be able to get past the both of them. And then just as I was going past them, I saw that it was white flag, and I was like, oh, okay, I really have to make this stick and go, because then I've got a nice finishing position here. And then on the final lap, just as we come around the final corner, Jerome ran out of fuel, so that was another position. So it sort of fell into my hands a little bit right at the end, and it was a good start as well. And was able to avoid any of the incidents as well. So yeah.
Well, all right. So you wrap up a good evening here on iRacing. Time to head off to the pub for a pint.
Yes, always good.
All right. Cheers, Phil. And
Cheers,
we
guys.
will see you next week, my friend.
Yep.
All right, Soup. Phil, always a great interview and a great run for him. Boy, Josh Thompson had a solid one, and you've caught up with him now.
Yeah, another good points day for Josh. What would that be here? He was probably a podium, I think, in the feature race. Sean, Josh, did you get third and then sixth here in this? Yeah. Good job, Josh.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, really. Gutted with race one. Obviously, got to the lead. Led most of the race, really. And then I was like, could I risk one more lap on fuel? Because in practice, I'd been able to do one more lap in that condition. So I was like, oh, I'll be all right. And as I came out of Lukey Heights, engine just died with no fuel. So I was having to, like, clutch kick it all the way down. So I was like, that's what the traffic jam was coming down pit road. It was just everyone behind me because I was running out of fuel. And because you can't overtake going down because it's grass. That was what the massive train was, which obviously resulted in me losing the lead and putting back in the fight with Usher. Great fight. Shame about the net code, really. Tried. It was like same lap before. Exactly the same what he did to me. But obviously the other way around, bit of net code was a bit of a shame. So, yeah, it wasn't too bad. Third's good. Good whole points. And then obviously a solid 6th and the sprint after being down. I think I was like second to last after lap 1. I was taking avoiding action at the hairpin. So yeah, not too bad.
Yeah, let's talk about the avoiding action in the hairpin. I don't know if it was great driving or just lucky the car was pointed in the right direction. I don't know how you got through it there. That issue late in the race.
I just I saw it all happening back ahead. Like I saw a massive cloud of smoke and like all the inside had like backed up dramatically. And I was like, all right, I'd rather take a slowdown and not get any damage at all. So I took the avoiding action. I don't think I needed to, but I think it was more precautionary because it came out and obviously saw people like Usher and a few others with like front wing damage and rear wing damage. So in the long run, over 25 minutes, it's obviously better not to have any damage.
Yeah.
So half a second you can make it back up, which, yeah, it cost me, put me down to the back, but I had a bit of fun coming back through.
Well, considering you ran out of fuel in one race and they had to start way in the back, a pretty good points day for you today. Good job, John.
Yeah,
we'll see you next time around.
Yep, cheers.
Josh Thompson, another good points day for him. All right, do we have one more, Sean?
Soup, we do. We're going to talk to Tom Van Hooyman.
Cool.
Tom, I'll tell you what, vastly different ends of the spectrum from one race to the other. You don't really even make it out of the first lap in the feature race. I don't guess I need to remind you of that, but talk a little bit about the drive in the sprint race. 15 spots up to 15th, and I think you're probably going to walk away a little satisfied with that, aren't you? Tom, can you hear us?
Sorry, yeah.
There he is.
Yeah. I'm really satisfied because the start was going great, picking already up some places, and people were fighting, and I was staying clear of every incident. And I was getting more places and places. I was fighting with Scott Newton and Patrick Kessel. They were quicker, but yeah, I was like, let them go, and maybe I can follow them. I could follow Scott Newton, and in the last lap, last corner, he just crashed out of the track. So I was like, all right, free spot.
And Tom, first of all, I want to say great paint scheme on the car. You're easy to pick out on track. Soup's going to like you for that too. But is this your first official race today?
Of this season or just overall?
I guess of this season. This is your first race this season?
Yeah, this is my first race this season. I've been in AOR before for like 2 or 3 seasons, but that was not going really well. And I've just got in this car three weeks ago, and I'm just learning it all again. But yeah, I'm doing good, getting confident. Right. So,
well, that's great. Now you're new to us, so I'm going to ask, where are you from, Tom?
I'm from the Netherlands.
Okay, all right, Soup. He's in the Netherlands there. It's certainly a lot of great drivers come from the Netherlands, and a lot of them race here. Anybody you're close to here in the AOR?
Yeah, Martin van Loozenhoort. That's my teacher for this car, so he's going to teach me everything.
Well, always good to have a mentor. Always good to talk to someone who had fun today, and we look forward to seeing you next week, sir.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really looking forward to it next week. So.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing you then, Soup. That was Tom Van Hooyman. Great run for him today, and again, another one of those great drivers from the Netherlands, buddy.
And there's a lot of them. I'm taking my next vacation to the Netherlands. I figure I got a lot of free lodging I can mooch my way into when I go over there.
I think we have a few couches we could stay on over there. I think we'd be all right.
That'll take up a lot of space. All right, here we go. That'll wrap it up for us here in the Global Sim Racing channel. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We have some people we'd like to thank. Stay with us here. These are the people that make this possible. First of all, I've got to thank everybody at Apex Online Racing for organizing Formula Renault 2.0 League, and to all the members who support this broadcast. Thanks to the companies, equipment, and software that you see on the screen right now that we use on the broadcast, and the original music. Well, that's from Casey Lalonde and Eric Ekholm. See the screen for how to contact each of them.
Soup, the AOR returns next week for round 9, Friday the 10th of November, Sebring International Raceway. I always love going there. Attention to our American viewers, because this is really important. We fall back this weekend, everyone. Remember that, 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Make sure you set your clocks back. So, that being said, the broadcast will return to our usual time of 3:25 Eastern Standard Time next week here on the Global Sim Racing Channel to bring you all the action. We hope you join us for more information about GSRC. Your best bet is GlobalSimRacingChannel.com. We're also on social media, a lot of it. Twitter at GSR Channel and Facebook. We're really huge there. Global Sim Racing Channel. Soup, it's been a blast from Australia.
Couldn't agree more. And on behalf of my booth partner, Sean Ambrose, our director, Amjad Yaman, Billy Bob Wright, who joined us in the booth today, good to have him with us, and Dougie Beard, our camera guru. I'd like to thank all of you for watching. With that said, we're off to have fun, storm of the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.